Welcome to episode 3 of the Card Notes by Vintage Hockey Cards Report podcast. Today we're taking a closer look at the Henri Richard 1957-58 Parkhurst number 4 card, the Bert Marshall 1968-69 o-pee-chee number 79 card, the Bert Olmsted 1954-55 Parkhurst number 5 card, the Doug Mons 1971-72 o-pee-chee number 242 card, and the Bobby Orr 1966-67 Topps number 35 card. Enjoy. The Henri Richard 1957-58 Parkhurst number 4 hockey card. Written on the back of the card, though still not as productive as the game's brightest stars, Henri Richard takes a backseat to no player when it comes to colorful, fascinating hockey skill. Henri has inherited enough of the family famous traits to be considered one of the league's top centers, and certainly one of the most mature thinking players in hockey today. A closer look. It's like Henri Richard took what was written on the back of this 57-58 Parkhurst hockey card to heart. In 57-58, he certainly became just as productive as the game's brightest stars. In 67 games, he scored 28 goals and assisted on 52 for 80 points. Richard led the NHL with his 52 assists and finished in second in the race for the Art Ross Trophy, just 4 points behind winner and teammate Dickie Moore. Henri went on to play 1,258 regular season and 180 playoff games in the National Hockey League between 1955-56 and 1974-75. With 11 Stanley Cup championships, no other player has more rings. Richard was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1979. The Bert Marshall 1968-69 o-pee-chee number 79 hockey card. As per the back of the card, a succession of injuries detoured Bert Marshall in 1966-67 after he nearly won the National Hockey League's Rookie of the Year award the year before. He's out of Western Canada and played junior hockey for the Edmonton Oil Kings. Bert scored his first NHL goal last season. A closer look. In his rookie campaign, Bert Marshall was an outstanding stay-at-home defenseman that helped the Detroit Red Wings to reach the Stanley Cup Finals before falling to the Montreal Canadiens. It was a tight battle for Calder Trophy honors. Brett Selby of the Toronto Maple Leafs won the award with 98 votes. Marshall came in second with 90. He was followed by Gilles Marat and Bernie Parent, both from the Boston Bruins. Marshall came to the Seals via a January 9, 1968 trade with the Red Wings. Going with Bert were John Brenneman and Ted Hampson. Going to Detroit was Kent Douglas. As a member of the Edmonton Oil Kings, Bert Marshall was no stranger to winning. The Oil Kings captured the 1963 Memorial Cup Championship, beating the Niagara Falls Flyers in the final. The following year, 1963-64, Marshall helped the team reach the Memorial Cup final again. However, Edmonton fell short, losing 4 straight to the Toronto Marlboros in the best-of-7 final. The first goal referred to on the back of the card came on November 30th, 1967 at Detroit Olympia. He scored on Bruce Gamble of the Toronto Maple Leafs at 11:04 of the first period, assisted by Bart Crashley and Paul Henderson. Detroit and Toronto tied the game 3-3. It would be Marshall's only goal of 1967-68. Not a sniper, Bert scored just 17 goals in 868 regular season NHL games. The Bert Olmsted 1954-55 Parkhurst number 5 hockey card. Written on the back of the card, a reliable, thorough workman, Bert had his best season last year when he racked up 52 points to place 5th in the point race. One of hockey's best puck carriers behind his own line, he has a knack of playing the puck off the boards in the corners and getting away from 2 or 3 men with his tricky stick work. A good passer, accurate shot, and hard worker, Bert has become an important cog in the Canadian machine. Works hard during the summer too, as he owns a large farm at Scepter. A closer look. Bert Olmsted's 52 points in 1953-54 did place him 5th in the race for the Art Ross Trophy. His strength was his 37 assists that put him second in the NHL behind only Gordie Howe of the Detroit Red Wings. The good passer comment is an understatement. In 1954-55, Olmsted led the National Hockey League with 48 assists, 5 more than Montreal Canadiens teammate Doug Harvey. He did it again in 1955-56, this time with a career-high 56 assists, 9 more than second-place Andy Bathgate of the New York Rangers. Bert played 848 regular season and 115 playoff games in the National Hockey League between 1948-49 and 1961-62 with the Chicago Blackhawks, Montreal Canadiens, and Toronto Maple Leafs. The Doug Mons 1971-72 o-pee-chee 242 hockey card. As for the back of the card, Has won accolades at both defense and left wing, went to the North Stars late last season as a forward but was converted back to defense soon after. Started this season on the blue line and was considered one of the main reasons the Stars got off to such a good start. A closer look. This o-pee-chee hockey card is odd, and I would consider it an error in that not all of Doug Mons' NHL career to date is represented in the stats. Mons started his NHL career in 1953-54 with the Boston Bruins, not in 1961-62, as per the back of the card. Mons arrived in Minnesota via a trade during the 1970-71 season. On February 23, 1971, he came to the team from the Chicago Blackhawks with Terry Caffrey in exchange for Danny O'Shea. He had played with Chicago since a June 8, 1964 trade sent him from Boston for Reg Fleming and Ab McDonald. Doug Mons played 1,389 regular season and 94 Stanley Cup playoff games over his NHL career that spanned from 1953-54 to 1974-75. Along with the Bruins, Blackhawks, North Stars, Doug also played for the Atlanta Flames and Washington Capitals. The good start by the 1971-72 Minnesota North Stars was no understatement. The team was 18-4-3 by December 4, 1971. However, they would go 2-7-2 for the rest of December, bringing the team back down to earth. Minnesota finished the year 37-29-12 and second in the West Division, 21 points behind Chicago. The St. Louis Blues would oust the Stars in the first round of the playoffs. It was a tight affair going the full 7 games with each team scoring 19 goals each over the series. The Bobby Orr 1966-67 Topps 35 NHL hockey card. Written on the back of the card, Bobby came to the Bruins directly from the Oshawa Generals Junior A club. He is the most publicized junior in many years and certainly will become one of the future stars in the NHL. A rushing defenseman who can set up goals as well as score them. A closer look. Bobby Orr was quite a star with the Oshawa Generals, and we all know how his National Hockey League career turned out. Orr was with the Gens for 4 seasons from 1962-63 to 1965-66. Interestingly, he earned 0 individual awards but was named a first-team All-Star in each of his final 3 seasons. In fairness, there wasn't a trophy for Best Defenseman until 1968-69. The Red Tilson Trophy for MVP went to Andre Lacroix of the Peterborough Petes for both 1964-65 and 1965-66. In 64-65, the Blue Liner scored 34 goals and totaled 93 points in 56 games. The following year, he upped those numbers to 38 goals and 94 points in just 47 games. As well, in 65-66, he helped the Generals to a J. Ross Robertson Cup championship. However, Oshawa fell to the Edmonton Oil Kings in 6 games at the Memorial Cup final. As predicted on the card, Orr's impact on the game was immediate. He was awarded the Calder Trophy as Rookie of the Year in 66-67. The following year started a run of 8 consecutive Norris Trophy wins as the NHL's top blue liner. Over his injury-shortened National Hockey League career, Bobby won the Hart Trophy 3 times as the league's most valuable player. He remained the only defenseman to win the Art Ross Trophy as the NHL's top scorer. He accomplished that feat twice. Orr helped the Bruins to 2 Stanley Cup championships and was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1979. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Card Notes. Stay tuned, there'll be more coming up soon. If you could, please hit the like button, and we'd really appreciate if you'd subscribe to the channel.